Hi everybody, thanks for tuning in. I've really enjoyed doing this series on composition. I hope you've enjoyed it too. One of the problems with underwater photography is our time underwater is so limited. Well, the good news is we can actually practice our skills and guidelines at composition topside. So in this video, I'm just going to show a few examples of some random shots I've taken over the years in between dives, on vacation, and maybe in my own backyard. The point is we can hone our skills topside. We don't have to be underwater to think about and practice composition. And thanks a lot for tuning in. Let's check it out. Okay, let's check out some topside examples. Here's a picture of a frog I took with a macro lens on one of my little trips up in northern Michigan. And this is using the composition principle of get close, fill the frame with your subject. And here I was using the principle of composition, get low and shoot up to have a non-distracting background. I used my macro lens to get a shot of this spider. And here I'm trying to get an interesting perspective. This is just a shot of our resort in Cozumel a few years ago. I used a wide-angle lens and sort of got low onto the deck. Different or unusual viewpoint. And another unusual viewpoint from the Cayman Islands at our resort. Took a picture of this little waterfall dripping into the pool on the ocean, clouds in the background. And here's a shot of my daughter on we were getting ready to do some night snorkeling in the Caymans, and I got low on the sand and kind of captured her as a silhouette against the setting sun. Here's a shot showing the rule of thirds of this little bug on a leaf, also complementary colors, orange and green, or reddish and green. And here's a shot showing a vertical aspect ratio of a door leading to our resort in Cozumel, and another palm tree at the Caymans with a wide-angle lens showing a vertical aspect ratio instead of a horizontal aspect ratio, speaking of our framing composition. And here I had a distracting background when I shot this little lizard, but I opened my aperture to blur the background. This is how to deal with the distracting background, and same here. I really opened my aperture, focused right on the central portion of the flower, and I got a non-distracting, kind of a pretty or appealing green background for that shot. Here I'm using line, the rail and the bridge at the Blue Heron Bridge leading up to the hotel, the colorful hotel in the background, and another principle showing lines converging, trying to emphasize dimension or depth at our resort in Cozumel. And here's another shot showing converging lines going from right to left, emphasizing depth at a resort at the Sunset House in the Caymans. Here I'm trying to demonstrate the principle of balance. I have the Blue Heron Bridge to the right with lines leading up to it toward the left, and then to kind of balance it out I have a tree at the left-hand side to create a sense of balance in that image. And here I've used a frame within a frame, or a so-called natural frame, taking a shot through a portion of a dock of the Blue Heron Bridge in South Florida. Kind of a cool shot, I think. And here I'm showing radial symmetry and also complementary colors, the red with the green background. And here's a few shots showing juxtaposition, our last video, showing light versus dark. Remember, you can juxtapose any two things. Here's my wife, topside, with a crab beneath her, and both of their faces or heads are tilted to complementary angles. Kind of an interesting juxtaposition, I think. And here's a leaf juxtaposed with the shadow of a leaf on that leaf. I thought that's kind of a cool shot. And finally, I juxtapose leading lines of the Blue Heron Bridge on the left with a fishing pier on the right. Sort of a cool image. So that's just a few examples of how we can practice with our composition topside. We don't have to wait till we actually get underwater. So thanks so much for tuning in. I really hope you enjoyed this series, and I really appreciate your attention. Please give me any feedback that you'd like. I'd really appreciate it. Take care.